Hello, welcome to uh, today's video, which is on lesson number 1 of module number 5, which deals with plane table surveying, which is part of your basic surveying subject of third semester. So, before we start with today's class, let us see what were the topics that were dealt with in the previous class. In the previous class, we learned about different types of obstacles encountered in chain surveying or tape surveying. When those obstacles are encountered, how do we deal with uh, those obstacles? Now, in chain surveying, under ideal circumstances, we choose surveying stations such that there are no obstacles from first point to last point, meaning all the points are visible and all the points can be ranged without any difficulty. But practically on the field, such conditions are not available. Usually, some or the other obstacles are encountered. So, when chain surveying is done or when tape surveying is done, different obstacles are encountered, and these obstacles it can be categorized into three groups. The first group or the first category is obstacle to obstacle to ranging only. The second category is obstacle to chaining only. The third category is obstacle to both chaining and ranging. When I am saying in the first category, that is obstacle to ranging, these kind of obstacles, the first and the last point are not intervisible. That is, let's say if A is the first point and B is the uh, last point or the next point, so you cannot see from if you're standing at A, point B or station B is not visible. If you're standing at B, station A or point A is not visible. So this is obstruction to ranging. These one example of obstruction to ranging only is forest. Uh, one person is standing at one end of the forest, the other person is standing at the other end of the forest. They cannot see each other. So this is an obstacle to ranging only. But you can measure the distance between point A and point B. So it is not obstacle to chaining. Now the next category is obstacle to chaining only. Now an example to this category is a pond or a lake or it may be a swamp, etc. Now, in this type of obstacles, the 2 points are intervisible. Like if you're standing on one side of the pond or a lake or a swamp, and the other person is standing on the other side of the pond, lake, or a swamp, both the persons they can see each other. Both of them, they can see each other, but you cannot hold the tape and measure the distance. So this is a type of obstacle wherein you can range the points, but you cannot measure the distance directly between both the points. So a pond, a lake, or a swamp is are examples of obstacles to chaining only. Obstacle to chaining only. Now, the last category is obstacle to both chaining and ranging, which means both the points are not intervisible, and also you cannot measure the distance directly between both the points. A perfect example of this type of obstacle is a building. If one person is standing on one side of the building, the other person is standing on the other side of the building. Obviously, they cannot see each other, and you cannot measure the length between both the points directly. So, a building is a perfect example of obstacle to both chaining and ranging. So, in the previous class, we saw how ob- obstacles in chain surveying are categorized into three groups and how they can be dealt with using different methods and different mathematical or geometrical solutions. Now, today we will be starting a new chapter of module number, which is a part of module number 5. So, we will be starting with plane table surveying. So, plane table surveying, in short, it is a graphical method of surveying. So, in today's class, we'll be dealing or we'll be seeing what is plane table surveying and what are the different type of accessories that are used in plane table surveying. Also, if and when classes are resumed, I mean offline classes, you have to do some exercises for plane table surveying as a part of your assignment. So, we will continue with today's topic, plane table and accessories. Now, plane table in this method of surveying, a tabletop similar to a drawing board. It is fitted on a tripod. Uh, tripod. An example of tripod is uh, usually cameras, photo cameras. They are mounted on a tripod and they are used. It is an example of a tripod. It has three legs and something is fitted on top of the tripod. So in plane table surveying, uh, a tabletop, that is a drawing a table which is similar to a drawing board, it is fitted to the tripod. Now to the table a drawing sheet is fitted and observations are made, distances are measured, and objects are plotted on the drawing sheet in the field itself. So in this type of surveying, both measurement and plotting are done on the field. So, in short, plain table surveying can be called as a graphical method of surveying in which field observations and plotting are done simultaneously in the field itself, or it is a means of making a manuscript map. It is a means of making a manuscript map in the field while the ground can be seen by the surveyor without intermediate steps of recording and transcribing field notes. Uh, one advantage of this method is you don't have to write down anything in a book, or you don't have to note down anything in a book. You will measure the distances and you will directly plot it on the drawing sheet. So also, since the plotting is made in the field itself, there is no chance of omitting any necessary measurements. You can check the work done with the features on the ground itself. So, but you the accuracy achieved in this type of surveying is less. Hence, this type of surveying is used for filling up details between survey stations previously fixed by the other methods. And also, small areas are surveyed using this method. Not, it is not good to conduct this type of surveying for larger areas. So, next we will move on to the accessories that are used in plane table. Now, the most commonly used type of plane table is this, and so this is a tripod. This is the table, which is similar to a drawing board. This instrument is alidade. This is the leveling tube or the bubble tube. Now, this is called a trough compass. This is plumb bob, and this is plumbing fork. These are the instruments, or these are the accessories of plane table. I'll repeat once again. Uh, this is a tripod, and this is the plane table, which is similar to a drawing board. This is the alidade. This is level tube, trough compass. This is plumb bob, and this is plumbing fork. Now, usually the plane table is made of well seasoned wood, and the tabletop can rotate about vertical axis freely. Whenever necessary, the table can be clamped. Now, the table is leveled by adjusting tripod legs. So, whenever you are doing measurements, the table must be level. That is, it must be horizontal. Now, the first instrument that is used is uh, the plane table. Now, there are different types of uh, plane table available. The first one is traverse table. Now, it the traverse table It consists of a small drawing board mounted on a light tripod in such a way that board can be rotated about vertical axis, and it can be clamped in any position. Now the table is leveled by adjusting tripod. Now the table shown in the photograph is an example of traverse table. Now there are also other types of plane table available depending on the level of accuracy required. Like the second type is Johnson table. Now Johnson table consists of a drawing board of size uh, 45 by 60 centimeter, or the size may even be 60 centimeter by 75 centimeter. Now the head, that is uh, the portion between the connection between the tripod and the table. The head consists of a ball and socket joint and a vertical spindle. So a ball and socket joint is used for rotation purpose. And so the head of the Johnson table, it consists of a ball and socket joint and a vertical spindle with two thumb screws on the underside. Now the upper thumb screw is used to tilt the ball and socket for leveling, while the lower screw is used to rotate the table about vertical axis for orientation. So this ball and socket joint with a vertical spindle, it helps the table to rotate about a vertical axis and also to move the table about a center point in vertical plane so that it can be leveled easily. Johnson table can be leveled very easily compared to the traverse table. If you want to level uh, the table in Johnson table, you can use the ball and socket arrangement. But if you want to level the table in the traverse table, you have to adjust the tripod legs, and it takes a lot of time compared to the ball and socket arrangement used in the Johnson table. So uh, the time is less consuming compared to the traverse table. So the work can progress fast quickly when you are using Johnson table. Also, Johnson table uh, is an improved version of the traverse table. Sometimes it is used for quick and accurate leveling. So the next type of table that is available is coast survey table. Now the coast survey table is the most accurate and superior to the traverse table and Johnson table, and it is generally used for work of high precision. So, and also the leveling of the table can be done very accurately compared to Travers table and Johnson table. Because in Travers table, the leveling is done by adjusting the legs of the tripod. In Johnson table, leveling is done with the help of a ball and socket arrangement provided with a vertical spindle. But in coast survey table, leveling of the plate table can be done very accurately and quickly with the help of 3-foot screws. Now, the table, it can be turned about the vertical axis and it can be fixed in any direction very accurately with the help of clamp and tangent screw. Now, clamp is an element which arrests the rotation, and tangent screw is used to rotate the table very slowly in the direction. Now, these are the three types of table that are available or that are there in the plane table survey. So, Travers table, Johnson's table, and coast survey table. The coast survey table, which is provided with 3-foot screws, are used for are used when quick and accurate work is required. Coast survey table is more accurate and quicker than Johnson table and Travers table. So these are the three types of table that can be used in the plate table survey. Now the other accessories that are used in the plane table surveying are alidade. Now this is my alidade. So this is a plain alidade. Now in alidade also there are two types. Usually alidade is a straight edge ruler using some form of sighting device. One advantage of this alidade or this straight edge ruler is a beveled edge, uh, which is also known as fiducial edge, which is used for drawing. It is similar to your scale, a plastic scale or steel scale, which is used for drawing straight lines. Now, please remember, alidade is a straight edge ruler, which has also some, which also has some form of sighting device, and one edge of the alidade is straight edge or beveled edge, which is also called as fiducial edge, and this edge is used for drawing. Now, depending on the line of sight, there are two types of alidade. The first type is plane alidade and telescope alidade, and also the beveled edge or the fiducial edge is graduated. That is, it may be graduated in millimeters and centimeters, or sometimes even in inches. It is similar to your, the graduations are similar to your scale. Now, there are two types of alidade depending on the line of sight. The first one is plane alidade. So this is my plane alidade. In case of plane alidade, a side vein, uh, this is a vein, it is a small slit. Uh, a side vein is provided at each end of the ruler as shown in the figure. Now among that among that side, veins are provided with a narrow slit. Uh, these are the veins, and inside the veins narrow slits are provided. Now sorry, this is a narrow slit. Now this is a hole. So this narrow slit, it serves as an eye vein because uh, you are looking through this slit. The other vein, it carries a horsehair or a thin wire. This is a thin wire. It is similar to crosshair. Like in a shooting game, you have a crosshair plus crosshair. So this is similar to your crosshair, except that this has only a vertical line. A crosshair will have a plus mark, that is a vertical line, and horizontal line. But here you are having only a vertical line. So this is a horsehair or a thin wire in the center. So here this is an eye vein which has a narrow slit, and here in this vein you have a bigger hole which is provided with a horse hair or a thin hair to intersect the object. Now the two veins are provided with hinges. The hinges are provided in the bottom so that it can be folded. The hinges are provided here so that this vein can be folded when it is not in use. The disadvantage of plain LED is when you are surveying hilly areas. In hilly areas, the ground is very inclined, hence the line of sight, or you cannot see farther distances with horizontal line of sight. Hence, this is a disadvantage when you are using plain LED. So the next type of LED is telescope LED. The only difference is on top of the straight edge ruler, a telescope is provided, and uh, an advantage of providing a telescope is it can be rotated in the vertical plane. Hence, you can easily sight the points in hilly areas. And also, a level tube is bubble tube or a level tube is provided so that uh, when we want a horizontal line of sight, when we want the telescope to be horizontal, it can be leveled using a bubble tube. So, this is a telescopic LED. It helps when surveying hilly areas and where inclined sites are required. The next accessory is plumbing fork and plumb bob. Now, uh, this is my table, and plumbing fork or plumb bob is a U-shaped metal arm with an upper horizontal arm and lower inclined arm. So this is my upper horizontal arm and this is my lower inclined arm. Plumbing fork with a plumb bob is used to locate the point on the ground. When the plumbing fork is kept on a table along with the plumb bob suspended by the hook. So plumb bob is suspended by the hook. The plumb line, it moves through the end of the pointer in the upper arm. At the start of the plane table survey, plumb bob helps in moving a ground station, that is a point which is marked on the ground, to the drawing sheet. So wherever this plumb bob rests on the ground, that particular point is indicated by this pointer on the upper arm. So if you mark this point on the sheet, that point will indicate the point that is indicated by the plumb bob. So a plumbing fork and plumb bob, it is used to indicate the ground point on the drawing sheet, or it is used to transfer the ground point to the drawing sheet, and also vice versa. It can be used to transfer the point on the drawing sheet to the ground. The next accessory is spirit level. Now, a spirit level, it has a flat base and it is used or utilized for leveling the plane table. Now, before drawing anything, you have to ensure that the plane table is horizontal. To ensure the plane table is horizontal, you have to use the spirit level and make the table horizontal. So, spirit level or level tube, it is used to make the plane table surveying flat or horizontal. The next accessory is a trough compass. Now, whenever you are mapping something, plotting something, directions are very important, and trough compass is used to indicate the direction, that is north and south direction. Trough compass has a magnetic needle, and magnetic needle always points towards north. So the trough compass, when kept on the table, it indicates north. When the table is kept, when the trough compass is kept on the table and the needle is in the center, so whatever line is drawn parallel to the trough compass, that line indicates north-south line. Uh, the last accessory required is the drawing sheet on which we have to draw. So these are the accessories. Uh, Apart from drawing sheet, we require clips and clamps to hold the drawing sheet to the table. If clips and clamps are not there, we may require adhesive tapes for fixing the drawing sheet to the table. Pencil, good quality eraser, etc. are also accessories required for the drawing work. If necessary, plastic sheet can be carried to cover the drawing sheet from dust and rain. So these are the accessories required for plane table survey. So in today's class, we learnt about uh, what is plane table surveying and what are the different accessories required for, or what are the different type of accessories used in plane table survey. For the assignment, you have to conduct, you have to do some exercises in the lab. If that is not possible, written assignment will be given during the interview. Okay, thank you. That's it for today's class. Thank you.